Okay, so you clicked on this video just to bully me just because I made a small typo. Or just to congratulate yourself that you finally found that Ponos employee that always leaves typos in the Battlecat's descriptions. Unfortunately, I'm not a Ponos employee. And neither is, since, you know, is criminal. Well, the title should actually be called Is Our Criminal, since I'm referring to both her Uberfest and EpicFest counterparts, but for the remainder of this video, I'll just refer to both of them as is. I'm intentionally being ambiguous when I say criminal, since there are a few factors I want to go over that make her such a criminal. Such as this first one, is criminally underrated. By all means, is not a terrible unit due to her nature of being a fest unit. She is pretty usable compared to some other Ubers due to her generalist capabilities. I won't go too much in depth about her stats and playstyle since other YouTubers have already done that, and I'm not here to repeat information. So, how does this make Is a criminal? Well, to be honest, this part was just so I can make a criminally underrated pun. -1 to the counter. The reason why Is so overlooked is just because how she compares to the other Fest Ubers before her. All the other Fest units have been game-changing. Gao and Mitama with their insane generalist capabilities, D'Artagnan being a generalist rusher, and Castley with insane LD DPS and the new surge ability. Then you have Is, another rusher with less pierce than D'Artagnan, and a weaker strength than D'Artagnan. I would say that Dark Is had lower expectations to live up to since usually EpicFest units have worse generalist capabilities than their Uberfest counterparts. But then again, Dashley exists. Another -1 to the counter since I cannot go one video without mentioning her existence. Actually, add 1 to the counter since I forgot how Diz is such a stupid nickname. Source? I made it the fuck up. But back to living up to expectations. Dark is also a really good generalist since she honestly has way too many immunities and abilities. All of that in a bag of chips just to deal massive damage to trait lists. You may be thinking that lots of immunities and abilities is actually a good thing, but I'm here to tell you that I'm a Battlecats fan and I cannot read. Add 1 to the counter. At least she stands out a little bit more from D'Artagnan. The last thing to compare Is and the other Uberfest Ubers with is the fact that Is a rule breaker. She doesn't follow the norm of a cheap, spammable first form followed by a significantly stronger second form. Don't get me wrong, Is still relatively cheap and spammable compared to most Ubers, it's just that she's such an odd case when it comes to the Fest Ubers despite her being one as well. Add 1 to the counter. Speaking about different forms, it is criminal how we don't get her beast form as a different form. The beast form I'm referring to is the transformation she does during her attack animation. There's just so much wasted potential since it could have made Is follow the same patterns as her Uberfest counterparts. Also, I'm just a big fan of this Gremlins design. Add 2 to the counter, 1 for Is and the other for Dark Is. This video is not long enough, so lightning round. Wait, a lightning round to extend a really short video? Add an imaginary 1 to the counter. And the final score is... And add the amount of frames it took to get to this part to the counter too. Wow, that's such a high score that it should be convicted of her crimes. Like and subscribe if you think this total embarrassment of a unit should never be allowed to touch a gacha banner ever again.